Just to get things out of the way, this isn't going to be your normal hockey history deep dive type of video. In fact, I don't even have a script for this video. But as I've stated a ton of times on this channel, I am a Calgary Flames fan, and as all of you know, Johnny Gaudreau just left the Calgary Flames to go sign in Columbus. People are asking me how I feel about the Gaudreau thing, what my thoughts are, so I figured I'd make a video and just put it all out there. I've tried doing as much research and looking in as I possibly could. I gathered some tweets from Saravelli and Friedman to try and understand this a lot more, but it just doesn't make any sense to me, and we'll get into all that. But first I wanted to start off by sharing something a little personal. Some of you guys have asked how I became a Calgary Flames fan, especially being nowhere near Calgary at all, and it was actually because of Johnny Gaudreau. In 8th grade, one of my buddies was watching the Stanley Cup final, had his Rangers jersey on, and I asked him what kind of jersey he was wearing, what it was from, everything, and he told me everything about the NHL, and I wanted to pick a team. Now, I didn't think I'd be as serious picking a team. I thought I'd just pick one, never think about it, and a week later go back to what I was doing, but I ended up picking the Flames, and I was looking into the team and the roster and everything, and I saw Johnny Gaudreau, and mind you, in 8th grade, I was not one of the tallest kids. I was 4'8", so I was short, but seeing Johnny Gaudreau come out of college as this short, fast playmaker, I was like, dang, man, if he could do that, then that is someone I want to root for, because maybe I could do something like that. So Johnny Gaudreau is the main reason why I even started following the Flames to begin with, and he was actually one of my favorite players. But then over time, we got to see more of Gaudreau and the way he played and the way he acted, and we got to see how he reacted to adversity. And once Matthew Tkachuk came into the team and he had that hard-nosed, take no crap mentality, I kind of geared more towards Tkachuk instead of Gaudreau, but I never really disliked Gaudreau, I guess. But over the past couple of years, I'm gonna be really honest, I've kind of grown to be frustrated towards Gaudreau. If you watch the playoff games with the Calgary Flames, you'll tend to notice a couple things, and one of them is the narrative, oh, Johnny Gaudreau can't perform in the playoffs. To me, that was never really my narrative. My narrative was Gaudreau gives up in the playoffs, because it always seemed like when we were down in the games, Tkachuk would try and rally up and hype the guys up, and Gaudreau would be sitting on the bench with his head down and just getting really frustrated, and it showed. So when Gaudreau ultimately decided to leave, the way he did, it just blew my mind and frustrated me a lot. I've never really seen a big star leave any of my favorite teams, if that makes sense. But the way Gaudreau left is just so nuts. So here's the thing. If you want to go home and you want to go near your family, that's completely fine. I get it. But the way he went about it is just, it irritates me. If you never had the intentions of staying in Calgary, then you should have just said something about it. You could have at least told Tree Living a bit earlier than you did. He stated multiple times how he wants to stay in Calgary, how he'd love to remain in Calgary, play there for the rest of his career. But I mean, to be fair, if asked that in the media, you're not just gonna say, no, I don't want to. But the Flames did everything to keep him here, offered him a boatload of money, basically rolled out the red carpet from the remain in Calgary, and at the very last second, he just no and leaves. The very last second, just leaves. And I've seen a lot of comparisons to the John Tavares thing. Now, when the news first broke, I was extremely mad, but I don't think I'm going to go to the extreme to boo him or anything. It's just gonna take some time. So when Gaudreau said he wanted to go home and it was about family, many initially thought it was going to be New Jersey or Philadelphia, and it sounded like when free agency first opened up that Philadelphia was going to be the team he goes to, because it makes sense. It's literally right next to home. Or he goes to New Jersey because he's from New Jersey. So Devils fans and Flyers fans getting all hyped up. The Flyers, they didn't really have that cap space to do it. They tried moving JVR, it didn't really work out. So they had all eyes focused on the Devils, which made complete sense. If he went to the Devils, I would have been like, okay, I'm mad, but he went home. This is where the situation, I think, really matters in terms of how you feel about this, because the news just broke out. He's going to Columbus. That's not home. You look up the distance between between Pennsylvania and Columbus, Ohio? That's an 8-hour drive or flight. It's 8 hours away. You could have simply taken a plane from Calgary and go over to Pennsylvania in maybe about the same time. It just makes you think that he just never really wanted to be here. And you can say maybe it was about the money, but it wasn't, because he left 15 to 17 million dollars on the table to go home and actually go to Columbus. And that's where the Tavares situation gets brought up again, because that comparison to me is like, I understand the feelings aspect, but Tavares said he was going to go home and he went home. Gaudreau said he was going to go home and went 8 hours away from home. You can make the jokes about how no one wants to play in Columbus, but to me it just doesn't make any sense. This now leads into the next topic of what happens next with the Flames, however. Like, do they rebuild? Do they try and replace him? Clearly, Tree Living is not trying to replace him, because he goes out and replaces Goodbranson and Gaudreau with Kevin Rooney, Nicholas Meloche, and Dennis Gilbert Jr. So it's the same thing over again. Like, let's go get our depth players and trade them for 4th, 5th round draft picks. What are you gonna do now? A lot of people are saying now that Gaudreau's gone, well, what about Kachuk? Next year, he could just go leave and do the same thing. So there's two options the Flames can do now. And on first instinct, you're like, Gaudreau's gone? Oh, blow it all up. Trade Kachuk. Trade all these guys. It's not gonna work. I don't know what to expect. I know obviously we're going to take a step back. Just don't know how far of a step it's going to be. Maybe it's just on initial reaction that maybe we're gonna take a step back. Who knows? Maybe they could pull like a Washington Nationals, right, where their star leaves and they go on to win. But that's just wishful thinking. Yeah, first you want to go, oh, Gaudreau, what a bum. Yeah, I'm gonna boo him and all this stuff. But I think it'll just take time and then it'll be okay. Losing Gaudreau is obviously terrible, but the old core of Giordano, Brody, Monahan, Gaudreau, they're all gone. I've never really seen like an entire core come and go, so for me, this is like crazy. Gaudreau did make this team better. He did make them compete a lot better. He had some crazy memorable moments, the goal against the Anaheim Ducks, and this year when he finally got the Flames past the first round, I was ecstatic, even though it hurts and you feel like you kind of got betrayed. I mean, you gotta at least thank Gaudreau for what he did for the team, but the way he left, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I'm interested to see what happens next. You know, I wanted to go out and get a free agent to maybe replace Gaudreau. It's only day one, we'll see what happens, but Gaudreau, thanks for the memories. I hope you have fun in Columbus. I hope Kachuk stays. I hope everything else is fine. I trust Sutter to get the locker room back together, try and run it back, and we'll see what happens next. This is a crazy video because I'm so used to having a script and having structure and providing clips and all this fun stuff, but just like raw talking, it's weird. Let me know if you guys liked it because it's weird for me, but I know you guys wanted my thoughts on the Gaudreau situation, so I thought I'd provide it to you guys. And let me know your thoughts. What do you think about Gaudreau going to Columbus? Is it a good fit? What do you think is going to happen next? How good do you think Columbus is going to be now? But that's going to do it. I have a ton of fun things planned for the channel. I'm actually working on finishing up the script right now. Just wanted to get this quick video out there, but with that, I'll see you guys in the next video, and go Flames.